Hi, Just Marry family. Welcome back to our video series. Today we're going to tackle a subject that we get questions on all the time, and it involves second marriages. People wonder, should they make it as grand as their first one? Keep it simple? What colors should they wear? Well, fear not, because we are going to answer all of those questions in this video today. But before we do, have you subscribed to our channel yet? If not, please be sure to subscribe below, hit the little bell so you'll be notified every Wednesday when we post a new video. And of course, like it if you enjoy our content, and make sure to leave comments for us. We want to hear from you. We want to be a resource. So if you have questions about a video or have some thoughts, we want to hear from you. With that said, let's get started. Now, second marriages are a beautiful thing. I had one myself. So it's something we really enjoy working with, and they really are magical. But we had a wonderful bride named Angie, and she wanted to share her advice with all of you. My husband and I are in our early 40s, and this is a second marriage for me. So I knew that I didn't want a traditional reception. My husband and I knew the 4 things we wanted were first dance to our song, good food, good cake, and to dance the night away without the usual line dance songs. I was actually worried as people started asking me about the usual traditions and looked at me like I was crazy when I said we weren't doing all of that stuff. As time went on, more people asked questions, and I felt bad that somehow I was robbing my husband of these traditions since it was his first wedding. Would people think I wasn't taking this seriously if I didn't toss my bouquet, kiss him every time someone clinked a glass, and I have a big send-off with bubbles or sparklers? So the reception came, and we kept it at our first dance. 3 speeches, a delicious dinner, the cake cutting, and then on to dancing the rest of the night. Everyone in attendance said that outside of their own wedding, it was the best one they've ever been to, mainly because we didn't do all the traditional stuff, and we got right to the dancing without interruption. So Angie is absolutely right. I mean, we at Just Marry, we planned thousands of first weddings, vow renewals, second weddings, right? And I mean, our feeling is do what you want to do. You don't have to stick to traditions. You and your future spouse just need to think about what are the most meaningful things to you, and then go for it. Everyone's going to have a good time. As long as I think there's lots of love and, happiness and excitement in the room, it's going to be amazing. You ladies have some other tips you want to share. So the first question is for you, Danielle, and it's kind of a sticky one, but we get asked it a lot. So when it comes to second marriages, should you invite your former spouse?
This is definitely a question that we get pretty often. You, of course, are not obligated to invite your former spouse. This day is all about your new spouse and beginning that journey with them. Even if you're friends or cordial with your former spouse, it's definitely not needed if you don't want them to be invited. Of course, if you would like to invite your former spouse to your wedding, you absolutely can. It's your day. It's totally up to you. And it also could be helpful if you have kids, just making that adjustment and bringing everyone together in your new family.
Absolutely. That can be really important. So Jessica, I have a softball one for you. This one's easy. We were asked if you can still do all the typical wedding traditions.
Definitely. As Angie said, if you don't want to have those traditions, you don't have to, but if you want to, certainly go for it. It's awesome to see the bouquet toss, the garter toss, any wedding games, like the shoe game, the holding up of those shoes. That can be fun still, so it's whatever you want. Don't forget to comment below with any questions that you may have or any answers to these questions that we've talked about so far.
Danielle, the next question I have is, can the bride still wear white?
Of course, the bride can still wear white. We do see a lot of brides that decide, I wore white at my first wedding, so I want to wear my favorite color, which of course you can do that as well. But we see all sorts of white, ivory, champagne. So anything that you would like to wear, again, it's your day, you go for it.
I think, from my standpoint, when you're going to a second marriage, you're typically older, you feel more confident, you're not bowing to all the pressures that there are out there to be the perfect bride or to be the perfect groom. So yeah, go for it. Wear whatever you want. And if that color happens to be white, do it. Okay, so the next question has to do with money. Typically, in a second marriage, the couple is paying for it by themselves, right? They don't get the luxury of having mom or dad chipping in to pay for the wedding. So the question is, how can you keep it affordable?
So my tip for that question would be to incorporate some fun DIY elements. Whether that means for your ceremony decor, your personal floral, or anything else that you're crafty in, go for it. It can be fun for you and your future spouse to get together and craft those items and give it that special touch for your wedding.
And my feeling to go along with that is that at a second wedding, again, I don't think there are the same pressures of social obligations and things like that. So invite only those who are closest to you. You don't have to feel like you you have to entertain 300 of your not so closest family and friends. And I think there's some freedom with that in a second marriage. So that will really help you save money. So the next question we get is, since it's a second marriage, is there anything they have to do differently to get their marriage license?
So the only thing that you may need to do differently to get your marriage license would be to just bring any paperwork that you have from when you were divorced. Depending on when that took place, you may need to show some paperwork to the courthouse. And of course, this does vary by state, so just double check with the state on what you'll need to bring. And if you're looking for more marriage license information, tune in next week and we'll have a video just for you.
And to add to that point, I would just say that don't forget to have fun with it. Yes, it's your second wedding, so yeah, the pressure is off, so just feel free to do whatever you want.
Absolutely, just have a great time. Try something fun and exciting you wouldn't have been brave enough to do the first time. So these FAQs are just the tip of the iceberg, and we have a download that you can get. Check it out below in the description that gives you more tips on what to do for second weddings. And also, please don't forget to comment below. Let us know if you have questions or whether or not you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll get notified every Wednesday when we do another video. So with that, I think we've covered this topic, and we will see you next week in the next video.